Hello everyone, welcome back to the Reclaimed Ranch. My name is Tara. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. So for this video, I just have been thrifting a few times and I've got a couple items that I want to upcycle. Now I have this silver tea set. I don't think it's real silver. I think it's silver plated. And I saw Sonnet and Heather from Create Your Own Cozy do a tea set or a teapot kind of like this. And I thought it was absolutely gorgeous, so I've been dying to try it. So I am using my Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Conservatory. Now these pieces, I did the teapot, I did the plate, and a creamer and sugar, and they're all just from different sets. But because I'm making it the same color with the same pattern, it's going to be all cohesive and look like it was supposed to go together. So I did use 2 coats of the Fusion Conservatory on each piece. Because it's silver, I want to make sure that it's going to adhere really well, so I used alcohol to clean it. And then I'm going to go in with my IOD transfer called Painterly Florals, and it has gorgeous sunflowers and rose blossoms. And so I thought that the pink flowers would pair really well with this conservatory green. So we're going to just finish up this second coat after this, let it dry thoroughly in between. Now I'm upstairs in my studio and it's very warm. I have a little air conditioner, but it's still really warm. So it dried really fast. So these are the florals that I picked. They're super pretty. Has different tones of pink in it, and then the greens pair really well with that conservatory color. So with any transfer you get, you want to take the backing off, place it down, use your little tool to push it as you kind of lift up from the bottom on the back side there, and that's going to rub your transfer onto your project. And you want to make sure to burnish it when you're done, either with your hand or the plastic is what I usually use right there. I'm just going to rub that in, make sure it's nice and sealed to the project itself. Now the round surface was a little bit more difficult, but these IOD transfers make it so easy to place these on. What I did was I cut it out and then I cut little slits around it to help it be able to bend a little bit more. You can see right here, this is where I'm cutting those little slits in. And then I do take my tool and I just place it down and hold it while I use my tool to go from the middle out to the sides. And that way it made it a little bit easier to rub it and help it release. I used my finger at first, but then I thought it might be easier to get the tool out. So, and you can see once it releases, it kind of changes color, so you know that it's okay to lift up. And then I just keep working my way around until that entire one comes off. It did kind of split a little bit, but then you can move it back into position and keep going. So I thought this was just a really pretty outcome with this set. I love the fact that Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms, I don't know who came up with it first, but when she did that, my mouth just dropped open. I thought it was so pretty. Never thought of painting silver and leaving some of the silver accents like this. It's just beautiful. So I'm hoping to put this in the store and sell it as a set. Let me know what you guys think. A lot of people get upset for painting over antique vintage things, but these were found in the Goodwill bins and a thrift store, and so I see it as if it's already at that point in its life, somebody's not gonna, grab it up to keep it as it is. So why not give it a new life and a new lease by giving it some color and showing that it can still serve a purpose and be beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my Fusion's Tough Coat in the matte, and I'm going to seal in that transfer. I did, even though Fusion has its own sealer in the paint, I did do the entire thing because I want the matte finish to be all cohesive, not just in one spot, so that it looks all the same. So I went ahead and just sealed it with one coat on each piece, and then that whole set was finished. And for the next project, I did have this big bread box, or what I think was a bread box. It has wooden handle on the top there. It was in pretty gross condition. I cleaned it really well. The black paint that they had on there's all chipped up, but I do have a really cool rice paper that I want to decoupage on here. It's called A Red Barn Melody by Decoupage Central, and I haven't gotten it up on my website just yet, but I will. I do have some available if you're interested. It's that really pretty paper there that you see with the red barn, and then it has some musical notes around it as well. And I just love the colors of it. It just fit this box perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and take my Fusion mineral paint in Victorian lace, and I'm going to paint just the wood, the top and the front side. Give it 2 coats of white so that my decoupage paper will stand out a little bit more. And then once those coats dry, we're going to go ahead and start with the decoupaging. I also did get a really cool paper from my friend, a couple pieces. I don't know where she got them, but they're old. They look like old newspapers. And so, of course, this paper, rice paper that I want to use is not big enough to cover the entire thing. So I took that old newspaper looking decoupage paper and put it underneath, and then put the barn on top, and I think it turned out really cool. Look at how pretty this paper is. Just kind of reminds me of a fall season, the barn out there in the country. So with the rice paper, what I like to do is I like to take those white edges and rip them off. So I'm just going to wet it down with some water, and that's going to give me an edge that the rip will follow. I like a more organic look. The eye tends to find things that are more straight edge. So having this ripped organic edge is going to make it a little bit more concealed. So it usually tears pretty easy. If not, you just add a little bit more water and then you can keep going. And then just use my fingernail to kind of pull it with it being so small of a white line there. Okay, so here's where we're going to go ahead and put that barn on top. And I'm just going to put it right there in the middle and do the exact same thing. Just put a first layer down, make sure it's nice and even and no chunky spots with the decoupage medium. And then I'm just going to go right back over the top and seal it down. And then flip it up and keep working my way down to keep as many bubbles out as possible. And so I liked how this was turning out, but I can kind of see that this barn paper was really blending into the background, which was okay, but I did want to add just a little bit more so that it's a little bit more visible. So I went ahead and I pulled out my DIY dark wax, and I'm just going to kind of grunge it up a little bit, especially in the corners and around the edge of that barn paper, just to kind of make it pop a smidge more. And I really, really loved how this turned out. And I ended up painting the entire part black. All those chippy spots I covered up, painted it black, and then put the handle back on. Whenever I'm out thrifting, I always find these little wooden plugs, so I pick them up. I've got several different sizes because you never know when you may need them, and this bread box had none. So I thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and put these little plugs in, and then I just painted them black along with the sides of the box, and now it looks practically brand new. And I didn't glue them in because they had to kind of be pounded in anyway. So I thought the front was a little bit boring, so we're going to go ahead with the typesetting IOD stamp set and put fresh on there. We're going to ink up some letters that spell fresh. And I'm going to use my little wooden ruler just to make them a straight line. And then I'll pull out my thin mount and use that to pick all the letters up at once, and then ink them and then place them back down. So here's that ruler. I'm just going to kind of push them down and make sure they're all straight. And you can measure both sides, but I kind of just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. And I don't want it real dark, so I kind of just lightly push down on all the letters, and it came out perfect. It was more of a distressed look, and that's exactly what I wanted. With this old paper and an old barn, I want the lettering to be old looking as well. So let me know what you guys think. And this last project, I found a couple of these little tins at the Goodwill bins. And again, I cleaned them up really good, used alcohol because I am going to use my Fusion Victorian lace to paint them white. I'm going to use some more rice paper for decoupaging on them, and this is also a new one that I need to get up on my website. The name of it is Blue Bonnets and Poppies, and it's so pretty. It has gorgeous blues and oranges, and it just looks good with any decor. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 coats of my Fusions Victorian lace on each of these. Of course, let them dry in between before I go to the decoupage. And then I'm going to use my decoupage and transfer gel from Fusion to place these on. So here's that paper, guys. Look at how beautiful it is. So it comes in 4 sections, and I'm going to go ahead and do that water trick where it tears the rice paper. And I'm going to tear each section out and around the border. Give it that organic look again. And then I'm going to, it's a little bit taller than the actual tin cans are, so I'm going to just cut it down so that it'll fit, and then I'll use the part that I cut down to fill in the back side. I do have to use like 1.5 parts of it. You can see it'll cover just almost half. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rice paper to cut, or the water to cut it around, and then we will add that on. And honestly, when I piece these together, it's really hard to tell where it starts and where it ends. So I think it's because just the natural part of the flowers and just the way it looks, it makes it real easy to blend in when you're piecing things together. All right, so what do you guys think? I really love this tea set. It just speaks to my heart. I love the fact that it's two-toned. I'm still really into the two-tone look with furniture as well, and I think it just gives it a new life. So this is definitely my favorite for this week, and so let me know what you guys think, what your favorite project was. I hope you have a great week. It's definitely super hot in the Spokane, Washington area. We're getting into the hundreds, and so hope everybody stays safe and stays cool. I will be going on vacation this next week, but I am going to try and get ahead and get a video scheduled for Friday. So we'll see how that goes, and y'all take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.